Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about the new cards that were just announced for the Mega Evolution set, and I'll talk about what decks I think they'll actually be good in, if they're going to be good, and also maybe some, new direction that I think the game is going in. So let's just hop on over to Beach and get started with the new Kyogre card. So what I think is so interesting is that even though this new set is going to be mainly based around the Mega Evolution Pokemon, I am very surprised by how many really playable single prizers there are in the game. Right before rotation, we had a lot of the Radiant Charizard, Radiant Greninja, and stuff like that. And it was really nice to kind of offset prize trades and stuff like that. So having single prizers kind of take that place again, maybe not necessarily as like a late game sweeper or something that's like super powerful utility like Greninja, you have like another avenue to kind of break that, 2-3 prizers that are constantly on the field and maybe, offset prize trade or slow the game down or just try to take really efficient trades. I think that really rewards high level gameplay. So I'm excited to see that something like this Kyogre is coming to the game. So it's a basic Pokemon for 150 HP. It's a water type. For one water, Riptide, its first attack does 20 times damage for each water energy in your discard pile. Then when you use it, you shuffle them back into your deck. So I think this is really interesting. I'm not super familiar enough with the game to know that a mechanic like this has existed in the past, although I'm pretty sure it has. The first thing that obviously jumps out to me is Chien-Pao. I think there might be a way to kind of build this with Chien-Pao and Baxcalibur. There's been a lot of new draw effects that have been put in the game as well. So, even though Chien-Pao kind of died when like Bibarel and Irida rotated out, I could see Chien-Pao kind of making its way back in, which I would love because I just love Chien-Pao. I love cats. So I would love to be able to play that deck, and I kind of got back into the TCG like right after Chien-Pao like started falling out of the meta. So I could see this being put in there, maybe bringing the cat back. For its second attack for 3 energy, it is 130 damage and you discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. So if you're able to get 3 energy onto this and discard, you could build up that Riptide damage and just hit kind of strong later in the game. Maybe if you need to build up your board a little bit more. I'm not entirely sure how we could build this and make Chien-Pao like a top tier deck again. I honestly don't really know too much about how that list worked pre-rotation, so this could be interesting. I'd love to see somebody make this work, and I think you could do some really cool things. But let's go into the meat of the new announcement. So they announced Mega Camerupt and Mega Kangaskhan, and I'm super excited because, as you guys know, in one of my last news videos, I really love Camerupt, and I really wanted this card to be good. So I'm very happy to say that this card seems pretty powerful. But I do actually want to start with the Kangaskhan because I have some more stuff about Camerupt that I want to talk about. So let's just start with Kangaskhan. This is a basic Mega EX, so this is a 3-prizer with 300 HP. For its ability, once per turn, if this is in your active spot, you may use it, and you get to draw 2 cards. You can't use more than one. So it's kind of like a poor man's Golden Go. It's, searchable with Nest Ball. It gives you 2 cards, but you do have to find a way to put it into the active. You can't use it more than once per turn. So I could see this just being a basic draw support. It's attack for the 3 colorless energy for 200 damage. I mean, it's pretty good, but you're not really knocking anything out other than like a Mew. You're not even knocking out the Fez. You'd have to combine that with like a Monkey Dory or something like that. It's a pretty generic attack. I feel like they didn't want to make this card too good, considering that its active ability is just so powerful. I could see you not wanting to kind of turn this into a Fez type card. So I think this will be splashable in a couple of decks that need better support with draw, but I also feel like, why are you going to play a 3-prizer just for draw? That's the only thing. So I'm not unsure about where this card will fall in the meta. There might be some more colorless decks that come out that want to run this. Some people that just really like to play the lottery and see if you can one-shot something with 400 HP. Maybe you one-shot Venusaur because you hit your heads 3 times, 4 times, whatever it is. So it's definitely interesting. But also with its retreat cost of 3, with Air Balloon, you still can't really pull it out of the active very easily. And if you have to bring something out to put this into the active, you're gonna have to start playing like switch cards and stuff like that. I'm not sure how I feel about this, so I guess we'll have to wait and see how that falls into the meta. But here's the card that I'm most excited about. Like I said, Mega Camerupt. Not only do I just really love the camel, I mean, let's look at it. It's so cute. I love the Mega form. I actually think this has potential to create a new archetype in the game. Not brand new, but something that we haven't really seen in a while. Scarlet and Violet has not really played around a lot with those status effects. Really, the only thing that we've ever seen are the poison Pokemon like Pekarunt and Brute Bonnet and stuff like that, kind of for like silly donk things. But I think that there's actually potential to bring Burn back into the game. So for 1 fire energy for 80, it does 80 damage, and if your opponent's active Pokemon is burned, this attack does 160 more damage. So Camerupt doesn't have a way to put burn on the enemy Pokemon, but Volcarona does. So Volcarona is a stage 1 prizer. It has the ability you may discard a basic fire energy from your hand in order to use this ability. Once per turn, you may make the opponent's active Pokemon burned. So at first when I saw Mega Camerupt, I thought, oh, this will be good with Volcarona. But for some reason, I thought Volcarona had to be in the active. It doesn't. So now that I look at this, I'm like, wait, this is actually a super powerful combo where we can bring Volcarona, put it on the bench with a stage 1, and just burn our opponent's Pokemon, and then for 1 energy, hit for 240. 240 hits Raging Bolt, 240 hits Fez, Mew, Squawk, I think. Yeah, I think Squawk is under 200. Don't quote me on that. But you're hitting for a lot of things to just boss something up and kill it for 1 energy. I'm like, that's actually really, really strong. So I really think that this Volcarona, as soon as I saw that they printed it, I said, this is just like a oddly good ability, but doesn't function with anything else in the format. And then when I saw the Mega Camerupt, I'm like, okay, they were prepping us. The Pokemon TCG likes to do that and kind of tease us a little bit, I guess. They don't want to put the entire archetype in one set, so they'll print something that you're like, hey, this could be good, but we don't have the right cards for you yet. And then like a set or two later, we get that card and you're like, okay, this makes sense. So I think this will be really cool. Another thing you can also combo with this is that Magmortar card. So this is a stage 1, 130 HP. Its ability during Pokemon checkup, put 3 more damage counters on your opponent's burn Pokemon. So like we just said, burn the Pokemon, hit it for 240, it ticks. Which is saying, you hit it for 240 and it doesn't knock out that Pokemon, it's going to tick for 4 more damage counters. Because I believe Burn does 1 damage counter between turns, and then this is going to put another 3 on there. So you're going to be hitting for 280 basically, and because it gets knocked out by an ability, it doesn't trigger Fez. So that's super important too, is that we want to eliminate our opponent from drawing extra cards for free. So if you can't boss up that Fez and you kill something else, well, guess what? Your opponent is not going to draw cards off of this because it's not an opponent's Pokemon knocking it out, it's an ability. Same thing happens with Frostlass. So it's very interesting to see that kind of combo happen. I don't know how it's necessarily going to work because, we are going to be playing 1, 2, 3 stage 1s, which is not the worst thing in the world. At least you don't have to worry about rare candies, but I don't know, that's still like a lot that you have to worry about evolving, and it's going to be easy for your opponent to kind of do some spread damage. I don't know the Larvesta HP pools and stuff like that, but as a Grimmsnarl player myself, I just look at this and say, ooh, this is like Frostlass fodder. So at least Mega Camerupt doesn't have an ability on it. This is just going to be really easy for me to set up 2 Frostlass, get some Monkey Dories out, and just start sniping the bench. So I think that might be the weak point of this deck. We'll see though, because honestly, Mega Camerupt is just so strong. Like, are you concerned about that? The last thing I just want to talk about too was its second attack for 280 damage. You discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. I mean, if you do this and then you also add on top of that the 4 extra damage counters, you're hitting for 320. So now we're starting to creep into that like Charizard, Dragapult range. I think Charizard might be 330s, but that's nothing that a Monkey Dory can't fix. And Camerupt itself being at 340 HP, I mean, that's a lot. This is going to be one tanky camel, so I'm really excited to see how this fits into the meta. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is that it has a retreat of 4, so even if you air balloon this, you still have to retreat it with either a switch or, I guess, the energy count, but I don't really know how much fire acceleration there really is in the meta. I think there's one stadium that helps you out, something that came out around the time of Cinderace. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head, and I probably should have looked that up ahead of time, but I will say that this has potential. I don't know if it's going to be a tier 1 deck, but I can see it being really fun and being pretty good. Another thing to keep in mind is that Mega Venusaur EX is actually 2 times weak to fire, so one thing to note is that this could be something that just keeps that card at bay, which I'm a little bit nervous about, not because I think Venusaur is going to be broken, it's just I don't like playing stall decks, and I feel like Venusaur is just going to be a better Snorlax, so in some ways at least. So having this Mega Camerupt should hopefully keep that in check, and we won't have to worry too much about that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think about these new cards in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and we will see you in the next one.